This video is part of a series. Complete the previous videos in this playlist before you start this video. The complete playlist information, the material and the code file information is given in the video description below.
DeepSeek got really famous in the last couple of weeks. Let us try to understand DeepSeek R1 model. How do we use API and how do we interact with it in their web interface? The reason why everybody is talking about DeepSeek right now is suddenly it went on to number one position on the app downloads leadership board. It got released on January 20, 2025. By January 29, you can see that I think within a week, it actually surpassed OpenAI on the App Store. It went to leadership board. Largely, people started observing it or started paying attention because of two reasons. One of the major reason is the amount of money that was spent in building this model. They claim that it is $5.6 million only versus OpenAI's $300 million. It's almost like 2% of whatever was previously spent by OpenAI. Within 2%, they could achieve nearly equivalent of OpenAI's capacity. Now, that is too much. We do not expect a model which is costing that much less, which is still giving the same accuracy as OpenAI. And the other reason is this is open source. OpenAI is not open source license, but DeepSeek is open source license. As soon as it came in, if you see the LLM Arena rankings, you can see DeepSeek is actually ranked one. Yes, it is up there with Gemini. It is up there with ChatGPT 4.0 as well as DeepSeek R1 is here. DeepSeek version 3 is here. If we go to LLM, like maybe this slide is slightly outdated. If I go to LLM Arena and then try to check what exactly is happening there right now. Now, this is the website. It's taking some time to load. I think we will accept that. Now, if you go to LLM Arena Leadership Board, Chatbot Arena Leadership Board, on the leadership board right now, Gemini, ChatGPT, DeepSeek R1, it is there. In fact, within top three, top one, two, three, you have it, and the license is a mighty license, a fairly open source license. So that is the reason why everybody is talking about it. It has taken very, very less amount. I have my doubts on this, like who decides this? If a company comes up and tells that this is the amount that we have spent, now how do we validate that whether they really spent this much, or were there any hidden costs, or are there any other products that they were building out of that? They have used some shared spaces and then they got the cost reduced. We do not really know. So, but anyway, overall, the best part is it's a good model that is giving good accuracy, and it is open source. That's what matters to us. Open source, or the price is very less. Even if you are paying to their API, the price is a damn very, very less compared to OpenAI. OpenAI is already giving millions of tokens for a few dollars, but more than that, you will get it in DeepSeek. So that's the reason why everybody, all the top stories are running around DeepSeek only in on all the tech pages. Even in the general news, also you will see that DeepSeek has been heard very frequently in the last couple of weeks, I would say, because it's hardly been not even 1 month DeepSeek got released. Now let us see some of the DeepSeek demos. We will go to DeepSeek website first of all. If you want to use it as an alternative to ChatGPT, you go to deepseek.com. I think it has to be chat.deepseek.com. And this is how it look like. It looks exactly the same as ChatGPT. Not much difference in the overall look and feel of this website. And if I try to write what are the weekly, monthly, and let me zoom it, and quarterly reports generated by a credit risk analyst. If I ask this question, does it give a good response? Let us see. Credit risk analyst generates various reports, portfolio summary report, delinquency report, yes, very much yes, credit approval rejection report, early warning indicator report. Monthly reports are credit risk dashboards, stress testing report. Different teams generate that actually. Risk rating migration report that is generated by a credit risk from a different team. Concentration risk report, credit portfolio review, regulatory compliance. Usually the regulatory team generates that. Economic industry analysis, peer comparison report, scenario analysis, forecasting, probably model building team develops this. Give me an idea or generate a generate a database with table names, columns, column names, and metrics created or used in these reports. Generate a database with table names, column names, and metrics used in these reports. Let us see what is the result. Portfolio ID, report name, etc., etc. Different details are being given here. Delinquency table. I think you got the idea. What I'm trying to talk about here is the kind of relevance that you see once you give the prompt. If you give the right prompt, there is a high chance that you will get highly accurate result. It looks like at par with OpenAI. I have tried and tested it with multiple examples, and it looks pretty good. It is, we can say that it's as good as OpenAI. If you are taking a paid version of OpenAI, with the free version, if you are facing any limitations, you can actually stop that paid version. You can move on to DeepSeek. That I can give you a guarantee. I can vouch for DeepSeek that you will get right results. But only thing is, there are some additional features in ChatGPT where you have GPT Store, where you have Canvas. So those kind of options may not be here. If you want to use them, you still have to go back to those. You can even I have tried uploading some documents and extracting some text, asking questions on the document. Everything works perfectly. Everything was as good as OpenAI. I would not say it has given every time right answers. There would be some errors, there will be some hallucination, there will be some issues, but it is at par with OpenAI. So that is part one. How do you use DeepSeek on the website? Everybody must have tried it. Now we will go to the important part, which is how do you use DeepSeek in an API call? How do you use DeepSeek in your Python code? Let us see that. We will try to use LangChain framework. I'm going to give you this code file. You can also try along. So let's go to Google Colab file. I will go to colab.google.com. I'm going to share this code file with you later on. So we will go to Google Colab and open a new Colab file. Let me open a new notebook in the drive. Yes. DeepSeek.ipython notebook file. Now we have to install LangChain. We have to install DeepSeek on LangChain. So the code will be pip install. Let me increase the font. Pip install LangChain quietly. And then pip install. It's automatically giving OpenAI quietly, TikTok and lightly. Like, yeah, these are the ones that we usually need. But the one that I want to install right now is pip install. PDF is also required for our later exercise. But pip install LangChain, LangChain hyphen DeepSeek. This is the one that we need to install for sure. Pip install LangChain hyphen DeepSeek. I will cut this. These are the two that are required, LangChain and DeepSeek on LangChain. Rest of the ones are later on we require. Now, for you to use DeepSeek, you have to get the token. Without the token, you will not be able to use it. So how do you get the token? You have to go to DeepSeek API key. You may have to enter your credit card details here. Yes, the cost is very, very less, but it is not absolutely 100% free. So you have to generate a key. There will be some billing, there will be some usage. So I have a top up of $10 oddly, and then I have started using it for a particular key. You have to generate a new key here. Maybe you can try a sample key. Let me try a sample key. Let me call it as free key. Let us see whether it will work or not. So let me copy this. It may not work. You have to copy it for the first time. and then you have to work with it. So the way that we do it is import os dot environment. The keyword is DeepSeek hyphen underscore API underscore key. That is the one. And you have to give your own key. I'm going to delete this key anyway after this class. Let us see whether it will work or not. If this doesn't work, I already have paid for it and I have created a new key. So that I will be working with it. But the thing is, I have already paid the bill. That's the reason why any key that I give here is going to work. So what I'll do is I'll go here and I will delete this key, revoke the key, and these two keys, any one of those I can use. So the way that I usually use is here I have all my keys. All that I need to do is I have to use this code to access the key from there, so that I don't need to, or even when you are writing the code, you have to keep all these keys in the environmental variable or in the environment file and then get it from there. So for that, I have to use from google.colab import user data, and then DeepSeek environmental key is user data dot get the key. The key name here it's given as, it's not given here. So what I'll do is I will add the new secret key, which is DeepSeek API key. I'll paste it here, and my key that I already have it somewhere saved, I'm going to copy that right now, and then I'm going to get it from there. I think it's somewhere here already given. Let me delete this. Here is the key, so which means I can directly write it here. So DeepSeek API key. The name is DeepSeek API key. So as soon as I do that, it will ask me for the permission. I will grant the access. Yes, you can use the key from here, which is DeepSeek. Now it is open. I can use it. So for you, what you need to do is you have to go to DeepSeek platform and create the new OpenAI, DeepSeek API key, and then get it here. Sometimes you will be able to generate the key, but you may get an error saying that you have exhausted or you do not have any credits. If there's a way to get the credits, get them. Otherwise, you recharge with $1 or $2. You can use it for maximum sample exercise. At least for 1 or 2 months, you can use for $1 or $2. It's not a big deal. And then let us see some of the basic prompts. So let us see basic prompt example. The rest of the code is simply like the way that we use any other generic LLM like OpenAI or anything. Let us also use, if later on, if I want to compare it with OpenAI, I would be requiring OpenAI API key. We can use that as well. Grant the permission for OpenAI API key. Now, here is a basic prompt. So from LangChain DeepSeek, LangChain underscore DeepSeek. Usually it was from LangChain.LLMs import DeepSeek, but here the syntax is from LangChain underscore DeepSeek import chat DeepSeek. This is the model chat DeepSeek. So I would say my large language model is equal to chat DeepSeek. You have to mention the model and temperature, some of the parameters. So my model is equal to DeepSeek. This is the model name. Later on, they may release some other models as well. As of now, the model name is DeepSeek hyphen chat. And then I would say my LLM dot invoke, LLM dot invoke. Let me ask a question. What are the ways to improve the mood of a person? Or what are the ways to improve my mood so that I can study better? Give me, give the output in the bullet points. Okay, that is sufficient. Let me store this output in a variable called result. Result equal to this, and then let's try to print the result. It's simple. Like here, we have written LLM equal to chat DeepSeek. Otherwise, we will write LLM equal to OpenAI, OpenAI. And then you can give a temperature or the model name, anything that you want. So right now we will work with chat DeepSeek, and this is how the result will look like. What I have observed is it is taking a little bit more time than the usual models like OpenAI or Cohere or any of the other models from LangChain that you import any of the other integrations, compared to them, it is taking a little bit more time, probably 10 or 15 seconds extra. So, which is maybe later on it will be addressed. Content here are some of the effective ways to exercise regularly, jogging, yoga, dancing, practice gratitude. And then these are all the ways to improve the mood so that we are always positive. Now, this is a very basic prompt. What we will do is we will go to our RAG application. Within the RAG, we generally do not use any of the large language models, but if it is retrieval Q&A chain, where we give some documents, and then based on the documents, if we want to do any Q&A, then we require large language model. So the regular steps that are there in RAG, I will try to copy paste them from the previous code files that we have used RAG. Earlier in RAG, we have used OpenAI. Right now, we will use OpenAI as well as Chat DeepSeek. So let us try to install the required packages. PyPDF is required. I think LangChain community is another one that is required. LangChain OpenAI is required. Tick token. And so let us install a couple of more packages. LangChain community is also required for this, for us to work with RAG. So the packages that are required are getting installed. We have to install Chroma database, DB, vector DB, and then PyPDF loader, OpenAI embeddings. Embeddings are not part of DeepSeek as of now. We have to use either OpenAI, Cohere, or some other embeddings. Retrieval Q&A, that is the place where we will actually use our DeepSeek. So you have other options like OpenAI and Cohere, alternative to DeepSeek large language model. So step one is document loading. We will try to load the documents from Basel norms, basel.pdf. This is a PDF file that we will try to load. You can also access it. I'm going to share this code file. You can access it from the description. So step one is document loading. Step two is split the data into chunks. Step three is create the embeddings. So split the data into chunks. And then step three is creating the embeddings. For creating of the embeddings, we can use OpenAI embeddings or Cohere embeddings. Ideally, we should be using, if we are using large language model, which is DeepSeek, we should be using their embeddings as well. You can use any other embeddings, which embeddings are simply going to convert your text data into vector embeddings. We do not have any DeepSeek embeddings. We can use OpenAI embeddings and then store those embeddings in a vector database. That is step four. So the database name is Basel Norms DB. All these steps will work perfectly. As of now, there is no mention of DeepSeek because we have taken the data, split the data, use the embeddings that will convert the splits into vectors and store the vectors. And then we do the retrieval. Even in the retrieval, it is just the retrieval of the documents. I'm not going through this whole RAG approach. We have seen RAG in the previous sessions. Make sure that you go through those sessions, then you will understand what I'm talking about. Then you will realize that this whole process is straightforward. Now, retrieval of the documents. So here are the documents. The question is what percentage is the minimum capital requirement? What percentage is the minimum capital requirement? How much of the money should be kept aside by the banks? They should not invest in any money. Minimum capital requirement. I think roughly it is 8% or something. That these are the documents that are related to that question. That is a usual retriever. But if you go to retrieval Q&A, so what we want to do is retrieval Q&A. Let's call that as step 6. I want to have question and answer. Usually retrieval gives you only the documents and leaves it there. These are the documents that you can see them as the final result. That's it. These are the 4 documents related to your question. But the answer is not synthesized. But here we want to do retrieval Q and A. So we want to retrieve as well as we want to do question and answer. So for that, from LangChain dot chains, you have to use retrieval Q&A chains. And we have anyway imported OpenAI and Cohere. So what we can do is here we have to mention the large language model. My large language model is equal to OpenAI or Cohere. But right now, what we will do is I'll show you an example with OpenAI and then we will get into DeepSeek. So Q&A chain, retrieval Q&A chain from chain type LLM, retriever equal to retriever. In fact, you can use something called chain type is stuff. That means all the 4 documents that are taken will be stuffed together to generate or synthesize the final answer. So LLM is my OpenAI, chain type is stuff, retriever is retriever. These are the 3 parameters that you have to give. And then you can ask your query. My query is equal to what is the percentage of minimum capital requirement? My result is Q&A chain dot run. Is run required? Probably not, but anyway, we will directly go ahead with it. If it throws any error, then we will see. The minimum capital requirement is not specified in the given document, and it is giving the minimum capital tier 1 is 4.5% or something. I think the answer is 4.5%. That is what we want. Okay. Now, instead of OpenAI, let me re-execute OpenAI once again. Does it give any better result? So it is giving 4.5 to 9.5. This is the right answer. Now, the only difference instead of OpenAI, if you are using DeepSeek, this is the only major point of this whole video. If I am moving from OpenAI to DeepSeek, since we are using LangChain framework, there will not be any additional work. In the place of large language model is OpenAI, I would write simply large language model is equal to DeepSeek. Chat, DeepSeek, whatever is the model name, that is it. Instead of OpenAI, I'm writing DeepSeek and rest everything goes. It takes a little bit more time than the regular OpenAI. I told you there is some time that is taken, and this is the result. The minimum capital requirement 4.5 to 9.5%. So it is giving you slightly descriptive, detailed answer, but overall it is at par with OpenAI. So this is the only difference. Whether you're using RAG, whether you're using agents, whether you're using it for straightforward basic prompting, the only place that you will change the code is instead of writing large language model is equal to OpenAI, you will be writing Chat DeepSeek or DeepSeek. That is how you will use DeepSeek in your code. So that is the discussion that we wanted to have. Once again, in conclusion, what I want to say is DeepSeek, everybody is kind of very much talking about it because of the reason that within 7 to 8 days, it has gone to #1 on the leadership board. But I want to leave with a point to note here. These kind of models will keep on coming in. Right now, everybody is talking about DeepSeek. It doesn't mean that we have to totally ignore OpenAI. We have to totally shift our system to DeepSeek. That may not be true. These kind of news you will always hear in the tech world. But only thing is some news get really famous. For example, there was one news which says that Alibaba's Quen actually outperformed GPT-4o. This news was somewhere around January 29, 2025. Around a year back, there was some, or not some, there was a lot of noise around Claude 3.5, which has actually it beats OpenAI. In January 2024, 1 year back, Llama beats OpenAI. This was also news sometime back. Llama beats OpenAI. Gemini beats OpenAI, GPT 4.0, and then Claude 3. Mistral beats OpenAI and Google's Meta. These kind of news, you will always get them. If everybody says that this model is beating OpenAI, this model is beating OpenAI, this model is beating OpenAI, if every model is comparing themselves and trying to beat OpenAI, you know who is the market leader. So what we should do is we should not get really bothered about all these new news that we get. We just need to see what is the maximum adoption by the companies. I give a lot of corporate trainings. When I interact with them, the real market leader right now is still OpenAI only. I haven't seen companies totally ignoring OpenAI and moving to some other LLMs as of now. So there are multiple alternatives to OpenAI that are existing right now. But what I would say is we are very, very early. We are hardly 2 or 2.5 years into this whole LLM race. There is a lot of research that is going on. OpenAI, they themselves might come up with a new model in near future, which may beat everybody else's model. So more advanced LLMs may emerge in near future. DeepSeek is not yet the industry leader. A lot of people are talking about it, but industry adoption, we have to wait and see. So as of now, I would say just if you really want to try DeepSeek, maybe get an API key and then try to change the part wherever LLM is OpenAI. In that place, you try to use DeepSeek. You may want to compare OpenAI versus DeepSeek for some time. And then for some of the examples, you can see how is the performance of DeepSeek and OpenAI. In my opinion, both of them are kind of net almost giving the similar results. I cannot really say that DeepSeek is totally outperforming OpenAI. That I haven't seen that really as of now with the examples, with the experience that I have. Maybe in future, if I see a huge difference in some of the cases, then I'll try to make another video on that. Thank you. You have a great day.
Continue with the next video in the playlist. We are covering everything step by step. If you have any questions or the comments, please post them in the comments window below.